hit into right field. Is it enough? Get going. Gone! Home run, Pujols. He wins it. Cardinals win. How about that celebration after drawing a base on balls? On 1 and 2. On the Pujols into center. Gives it a ride. Yes! Albert wins it here in the ninth. Welcome to downtown St. Louis and to Busch Stadium for the rubber game, the finale of this three-game set with the Montreal Expos. Albert Pujols getting ready, part of this Cardinal team, which right now is number 3 in the National League and come from behind victories. The first 2 games of this series, Tuesday night, the Montreal Expos turned the tables on the Cardinals with a Batista home run to tie it in the 9th inning off Isringhausen. He wasn't finished. The game filtered down to him again against Danny Herron. A grand slam, and the Montreal Expos took game 1 of this 3-game set. However, the Cardinals last night flipped it on the Montreal Expos, coming back, getting the victory, and it was Albert Pujols hitting the game-winning home run in the 9th inning. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck along with Al Roboski. The Cardinals have not only been the best team record-wise, they've been a team that's been consistent. They've had a chance to be dramatic at times, and they did it last night. Last night was one of the more fun games of the year.
Well, it was fun because the way it ended. And Pujols, remember, he was down 0-2 in the count, but he's a great hitter. Your pitcher misses, and he makes them pay. It's his 31st home run, and I guess now he needs those RBIs and runs scored at the century mark and a little more history for Albert.
Yeah, it'll just be another year that we come to expect out of Albert Pujols. Let's talk about our Ford Dealers key matchup and look at the last 5 games for these 2 starters, John Patterson and Chris Carpenter.
Well, Patterson really came off the disabled list about this time 5 games ago. He had a groin pull, missed 13 starts. Carpenter's been very, very consistent all along, and it's really remarkable how many more strikeouts he's had than walks, but he's been a mainstay in that rotation and probably the best and most consistent.
Right next to this ballpark is an arch. The arch will be on your screen in just a little. Look at that! Oh, goodness. When we come back, a closer look at John Mabry, who had a huge night last night. More to follow on number 47 after the break here on FSN Midwest. Rubber game between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Montreal Expos on a gorgeous night for baseball. Temperatures are perfect and a crowd of about 35 expected tonight here at Busch Stadium. We welcome you back to the field as the Cardinals take on the Montreal Expos. Again, a little switch in Tony La Russa's lineup. John Mabry moves from right field last night to left field tonight, and Mabry has been one of the hottest bats in that Cardinals lineup. Bank of America higher standard has been John Mabry as of late. 4 for 5 in this series against Montreal. A 4-hit game last night with 4 RBIs. He's batting now .565 with 3 doubles and 2 home runs in the past 6 starts, including 4 multi-hit games. So we always talk about Rolen and Edmonds and Pujols. Well, John Mabry, don't forget about him as of late. He is our Bank of America higher standard. We'll take another time out here from Busch Stadium. Good pitching pairing tonight as the Cardinals will send out Chris Carpenter on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals baseball from Busch Stadium is coming up. A look back and now a look at the here and now. Our advanced auto parts pitching matchup for the Cardinals features the right-hander, an 11-game winner, Chris Carpenter.
Oh, he's been awful consistent. He's very good at not walking batters. Leads the staff in 6 no-walk games. He's worked 7 or more innings in 11 starts with 13 quality outings. And he also gets the lowest run support of any of the Cardinal hurdlers. And St. Louis has won 14-6 in his last 20 starts. And he's won 13 of his last 17 starts, dating back to April 23rd.
Take a look at the lineup for Montreal. Brad Wilkerson digging his way in. He leads it off. Andy Chavez is the number 2 hitter. Then Jose Vidro, Tony Batista, Nick Johnson, Termel Sledge, Alex Gonzalez, Brian Schneider, and John Patterson pitching and batting 9th.
The Cardinals come into this game sporting a record of 68-38. So now a full 30 over the 500 mark as a strike is in from Chris Carpenter. And the Cardinals right now are 9 games up on the Cubs. They are red hot. They won again today, sweeping a series at Colorado. Breaking ball misses.
And that good pitching settling in for the Cubs as very few runs were scored. But I think on the other side, Colorado has to be very happy the way they pitched.
Fastball misses, down and away, 2 balls and a strike. Bill Hahn is the home plate umpire with Gary Darling at first. Mark Carlson and Brian Runge is over at third. Here's a 2-1 from Carpenter. Good pitch, down and in. Wilkerson 2-2.
Chris Carpenter, with all the years in Toronto in interleague play, faced the Expos many times, and he is undefeated, 4-0 with an ERA under 4 against the Expos. Where are they going to be next year, Joe?
Well, it seemed like about 3 weeks ago everybody had them pegged for the Washington area, and then Bud Selig came out and said, I won't do anything that will jeopardize the situation for Peter Angelos in Baltimore. So that got everybody off that trail as Wilkerson strikes out. And I don't think anybody knows, as that thing just continues to linger on. We go around the horn. It's brought to you by Auto Tire. We look at Jim Edmonds in center, flanked by Cedeno and Mabry. Rolen, Renteria, Womack, Pujols on the infield. Matheny catching Chris Carpenter. It's a shame that Matheny's errorless streak came to a close last night.
Yeah, it really is. But you know what a tireless worker he is. Maybe later on we'll show you how much that upset him.
Andy Chavez takes a ball outside. Well, when you look at a guy like Mike Matheny, who had that incredible streak, and you realize the kind of wear and tear that that position takes on somebody's body, and then you find out what he was doing earlier today after committing the throwing error last night, you do not have to think very long and hard about why this guy is as good as he is.
Yeah, 252 major league games without an error, and it came to a close last night on a short hop on a stolen base attempt. I said at the time, and I'm sure Renteria felt terrible because he very easily could have and should have knocked that ball down and saved the error.
Here's a 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. It misses, 3-1. On 3-1, Chavez chops one to second for Womack on 3 bounces, 2 out. And Pujols had a real tough time getting that throw from Womack, who was throwing it out of the sunlight. Our Geico direct moment, the quote, I'm pretty sure he's not real happy about that error, but we're human. He knew he was going to make an error this year or next year. Albert Pujols on Mike Matheny. And then earlier today, after committing the error, this is how good this guy is. He's out this afternoon working on throws down to second.
And it's also good to see Molina, his backup, is the guy that's catching the ball for Mike at 412. He knew he was in the lineup, but yet wants to always get better.
First pitch was a called strike to Vidro. Now a swinging strike, and the count's 0-2.
Curveball and bounce it.
That's a pretty good first inning from Chris Carpenter. He kept that ball down. Matheny wanted it down there. He got it there, and it's a perfect first for Carp. Bottom of the first, no score. John Patterson is the man in the middle of the diamond for the Montreal Expos. And John, as Al told you earlier, off the DL, brings 1 win with him to the mound tonight.
You know, Joe, this is his 5th start since coming off the disabled list with a groin strain on the right side. Missed 66 games, approximately 13 starts. Interesting thing about him, right-handed batters are batting .273. Left-handed batters are batting .177. And all 9 home runs he's surrendered have been to the right-handers.
Take a look at the lineup for the Cardinals. Tony Womack is making his way to the plate. Edgar Renteria, Albert Pujols, Rolen, Edmonds, and Cedeno getting a start tonight. Mabry, Matheny, and Carpenter. For Tony La Russa's team, 30 games over the 500 mark. start to look around the races and you wonder, as this season wears on, where the great pennant races will be found, and the answer may be in the wild card chase. Not only in the National League, but in the American League. New York has clearly won the AL East. I am willing to give the Cardinals the NL Central. Atlanta's built up a 4.5-game lead in the NL East. The Dodgers, their lead has grown to 5.5 games. The White Sox are 6 out in the AL Central. And the only other real tight race is in the AL West. That's it. Here's a 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So I want you to notice the defensive alignment of Batista. Watch how he gets set. He puts his feet together, and then he jumps up, and then this is where he's daydreaming.
What was that?
You didn't like daydream? Well, the guys last night didn't like he was checking out the night sky.
So this is like a recurring thing.
Yes, it's kind of a ritual.
Really?
But watch he puts his feet together, his heels, and then he throws them apart.
Now he receives a throw from Schneider as Womack strikes out swinging against Patterson, and that's the way the Cardinals start their night.
Now watch, it's kind of like the heels together. And he jumps out at the last second. I have never seen that, and it looks very awkward. It's pretty good when you receive the pitch from the catcher after a swinging miss on a 3rd strike. Seems like you're not going to be in the best defensive positioning for a hard-hit ground ball.
Here is Edgar Renteria, 1 out, nobody on, and Edgar takes a strike. Renteria stands in hitting .290. 8 homers, 48 RBIs. And everybody involved, I think including Edgar Renteria, hope that he's not winding down his last 2 months of a regular season in a Cardinal uniform. Don't
be talking that way.
I believe me.
I think we all realize how important he is, and I know the Cardinals do too. They had contract discussions in spring training, and then they were told by Edgar to hold off. But I was a little concerned when I talked to Barry Larkin in Cincinnati, and Barry told me, he said, man, you guys got to lock up Edgar. He's the best. And I said, you're preaching to the choir. And he said, well, Edgar told him, he said they haven't talked to him. So I'm hoping there's not a misunderstanding.
That's low, 3 balls and a strike from Patterson with one of the heroes last night. Obviously, anytime you hit a walk-off home run, you are the man, but John Mabry had a game last night to put the Cardinals in a position to win the game in the 9th. Here's a 3-1. Full count. And because of his efforts last night, Mabry's back in there tonight. Cardinals will welcome the Mets over the weekend. Friday night early, Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday.
Probably not too long from arriving. They had a day game in Milwaukee.
Probably here.
Probably here.
Want to say hi to any of your friends on the Mets?
Hi, Keith.
Keith
Hernandez.
Really?
He's broadcasting the game tomorrow night for them, and then he's staying over for the golf tournament.
Great. Here's a 3-2 pitch from Patterson to Renteria, sticking the bat out, popping it up. Long run with plenty of time to get there. That's Sledge, and that's out number 2. Take a look at the defense for the Montreal Expos. Former Cub Alex Gonzalez at short. He's been replaced there by Nomar Garciaparra with Wilkerson, Chavez, and Sledge in the outfield. Batista, Gonzalez, Vidro, and Johnson. Schneider doing the catching again, and here is Albert. Just to finish the point on the wild card chases. That's really going to be the fun, watching those two races going down to the end. You've got Boston a game and a half out now behind Texas in the American League. Anaheim's 3 out. In the NL, the Cubs are a game up at the start of the day. Here's a fly ball into center field. Back on the track. Chavez to end the inning. Cardinals go in order after the Expos did it. We go to the 2nd here in St. Louis. Beautiful night. No score.
York with Max Kellerman tonight on FSN.
We need to tell you that coming up, the first 25,000 fans 16 and over with a paid admission receive a Stretch Fit Cardinals cap courtesy of Southwest Airlines on Friday against the Mets. That is tomorrow. The official airline of the St. Louis Cardinals, that's Southwest Airlines, and that is a cap for the first 25,000 16 and over tomorrow night. If you want ticket information, call the Cardinals 421-3060 or log on to stlcardinals.com. Batista hits a clunker into left. Mabry is there for out number one. Carpenter has retired the first four.
You know, when Woody Williams said Chris Carpenter has better stuff than Matt Morris, I think some people kind of wondered about that, but not anymore, do they?
Well, he's been so consistent, and I think by virtue of the way that he's pitched against the Chicago Cubs alone in big games, I would, certainly not speaking for Tony La Russa or Dave Duncan, but I think you would have to give Chris Carpenter the nod and the edge as far as being the number one guy in this rotation because of the way he's pitched with those pressure situations at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, it's very interesting. That's one of the ongoing questions. If the playoffs were to start today, who do you start with? How do you set your rotation? And those are the guys that have to come up with the answer.
Hitting .248 is Nick Johnson, who's been a big disappointment. He's just, first of all, had a tough time staying healthy while with the New York Yankees. And then being part of the deal to get Javier Vasquez. Here he is with Montreal. Had some health issues. He's hitting only .248, minus a point or two after grounding out to short, 2 down. Power's not there, only 5 home runs. And Nick Johnson was going to be a top young player in the game, is still trying to find it.
Good curveball, 12-6, comes down. And you chop down on that ball, you get a lot of ground balls. And that's what separates Carpenter. These hitters have to think about a 12-6 curveball, good fastball that's got some life to it. He can four-seam it or sink it. And he's got a changeup, and he's got a cutter.
With 2 out, here is Termel Sledge, and there's a bender in there for a strike. Who is Nick Johnson's uncle?
Larry Boa.
Is Larry Boa going to last the season with the Philadelphia Phillies?
I hope so.
I do too. They have won the last 2 at San Diego. They're trying to make up ground in the NL East, and they'll play later on tonight. 0-2 to Sledge with 2 out, nobody on. Fastball misses outside. Sledge is hitting .251, 9 home runs, 31 RBI.
Tell this kid has some good raw talent. The minor league player of the year last year.
Three out of 8 in this series. That's low, 3-2. So it was 0-2, and Carpenter is letting Sledge slide away. Here it is from Carpenter, and off the hands, fouled out of play off to the left. The Chicago Cubs, as I mentioned, won today 5-1, and they will head off to San Francisco for a weekend series. Here's a 3-2. Sledge grounds foul. Final time the Cardinals and Expos hook up this year. Cardinals trying to even the season series at 3 apiece with a win tonight. Sledge stays alive, and we'll see at least another pitch. Cardinals have a losing record this season against only 2 teams, Milwaukee and Montreal. Of all the 2 it could be. If the Cardinals can win tonight, only the Milwaukee Brewers will be able to say they've had the upper hand against the Cardinals in 2004, and the Cardinals have more dates with the Brewers to try to do something about that. Here's another 3-2 pitch from Chris Carpenter. That's well hit into left field. Mabry won't get to it. This ball's over his head and up against the wall. A 2-out double. First hit of the night belongs to Termel Sledge.
Left-handed batters have had a little bit of an edge on Chris Carpenter. Higher batting average, more home runs than the right-handed batters. And there you see a fastball out away from him, and he slices it over the head of Mabry up against the fence. So nice piece of hitting.
Here's Alex Gonzalez trying to turn that 2-out double into a 2-out run. Ball one outside. You've got Alex Gonzalez up now with Schneider on deck. Gonzalez hitting .229. He has homered since coming to the Expos. The reason why they wanted to upgrade is Shorty has only 9 RBIs all year while spending a good portion of the season on the DL with a break in his hand.
Well, we've seen some very good defense from Alex in this series, and the Cubs, in trading him, will not get that same defensive return, but they should get a lot of offense and a jolt.
Here comes a 2-0. Left side, Renteria keeps it on the infield, can't get it out, but he saves a run, and it's first and third, 2 out.
Nice play to get to that ball, and he thought about and wanted to throw from his knees, but couldn't get the handle on it. Tried to get the lead runner as he rounded third base bag, and to Sledge's credit, here you see how far he goes. And he tries to get to it. He just missed the handle, but then he looks towards third, has the presence of mind to see if the lead runner doesn't go too far around the third base bag and maybe get an easy out there. But Sledge held on.
Now it's Schneider. Bryan has driven in 28. Fastball misses high. Ball one. On deck is Patterson. Patterson on deck looks at least 12 feet tall. A large man waiting on deck, but an important hitter at the plate, Brian Schneider. And now Matheny's going to go out and talk.
May just go out there and remind them that, left-handers have had a little trouble with him. Schneider's had a hot series, 3 for 8, but it was a lot of the damage in last night's game.
I don't think there's any discussion about pitching around Schneider. The base open, but it's second base. And you got to believe Carpenter's good enough to get Brian Schneider. To the right side, Pujols with a little shot put. The second in the inning is over. 4 out, 3-6, 2 hits, 2 left. After an inning and a half at Busch Stadium, no score. On Fox Sports Net. Doesn't a season have to actually begin before somebody can come in and save it?
Well, maybe that's what Quincy Carter has in mind.
Maybe. But it won't be with
the
Dallas Cowboys. Rolen sticks the bat out and pounds it into right field. Back on the move with a nice running grab is the right fielder Termel Sledge, 1 out. Was watching the game last night, Al, when Rolen made that slide to home plate. Just watching on TV, I thought, uh-oh, I hope he didn't jam that neck or jam his shoulder. And he said everybody last night was asking him if his shoulder was okay, and he didn't understand why. And then this morning, Scott woke up and reached for something on the nightstand, and his shoulder was killing him. He said it didn't take him too long, only until 1:30 this afternoon, to remember why it was bothering him, but he's clearly okay and just bothered by it just a bit. And I think that last swing and shot into right is proof that he's healthy.
Yeah, remember, there's also that play at the plate in Boston last year that kind of banged him up.
Stuck in the Fenway mud last night, coming around. Watch his mouth when he slides across the plate.
Well, his arm is kind of hyperextended there, and it looked like he, his mouth contorted as it looked like he
screaming in pain.
But it was a heck of a slide.
It up. It was a great slide. He needed to make that great slide.
Brian Snyder, like, where'd he go?
With 1 out, nobody on, a 2-1 pitch to Edmonds. 2-2.
Looks okay.
Says he's fine, and I'm sure is tired at this point of answering questions about his left knee.
Billy Hahn and Edmonds getting in there, talking a little bit. I wonder if Edmonds just said something about himself.
3-2.
Doesn't seem like either one of them mad at each other, but they're conversing. I don't know if you saw the game on Tuesday night.
3-2 pitch. A 1-out walk. Would you be upset if I said no?
No.
I was in New York.
I knew you were out of town during part of the week, so that's why I phrased it that way. But Bill Hahn was at second base, and he really made a great call where he stayed with it. The throw beat the runner, but the tag was missed, and he really leaned in there, and you could see. And I said something to him yesterday. I said, hey, great call on that. We had real good video. And he said, you know, I've got to watch myself. I feel like I'm getting too close to the players, meaning like he was right on top of the play and didn't want to interfere. Like if a guy got up, he would be part of the play, a collision there or something. I thought it was an interesting statement.
It is. And I think you're exactly right about the situation during the at-bat with Edmonds. I think he may have said something to himself, and the home plate umpire thought he was saying something to him, and the two ironed it out before it blew up into something nasty. You could hear for a moment Edmonds saying, yeah, I appreciate you saying something, though, because there was potential for an argument for no reason.
They're having a conversation with everybody. You know, he and Snyder kind of laughing a little bit.
If the New York Mets are in town and watching this game, they will be pleased to know that Roger Cedeno has been a huge piece of the puzzle off the bench for the Cardinals this year. The team that's 30 games over 500 has used Roger Cedeno very well, and when he's played in the outfield, he's played very well. And when he's had a chance to hit, he's come up with some key hits. He's run the bases well. He's driven in some runs. He has been, I think, everything the Cardinals could have hoped he would be.
I think he's a lot more. He may not surprise, and his former teammates might all be happy. I think the New York fans will be quite unhappy.
As you said, I think a couple weeks ago, he has turned into such a good guy to have around the clubhouse. A guy that's got a great sense of humor and a guy who his teammates really enjoy.
I'm a big fan of Mike Elling. You know, they converse on all team flights, have a lot of fun together.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. Mabry on deck. Right away, as those Mets are in town watching, Jim Duquette may be with them, their general manager, and Jim is basically, on behalf of the Wilpon family, paying Roger Cedeno to hit tonight and all season long for the St. Louis Cardinals. The 1-2. 2-2. That makes you think of
the Cardinals with Tino Martinez.
It's really the same kind of deal.
Yeah.
And Tino, by the way, has had a very good year with Tampa Bay.
And you know, we saw the reports where they were talking, even the Yankees were considering having him come back with the illness to Giambi.
Instead, they signed Olrud.
He came freer.
That's on the outside corner. Patterson put it in a perfect spot. 2 out. And the second strikeout for Patterson.
Well, the Cardinals have loaded up with these left-handers, and as I said, Patterson has allowed a 177 batting average to left-handed swingers. Right-handers have hit 9 home runs. All 9 he's given up this year, and he hit 273. Not much of a track record against the Cardinals. He had 8 shutout innings here in a start for Arizona. Got a no decision.
1 on, 2 down. Mabry takes a strike.
I'm sorry, 6 shutout innings. He had career high 8 strikeouts. He has not exceeded 5 innings in any of his 4 starts since coming off the disabled list.
Cardinals looking for their first hit of the night. That just missed. Mabry had 4 hits last night.
It was a good night for Mabry. He had good numbers against Livan Hernandez, and he padded them.
The 1-1. Strike 2.
Dr. Randy St. Clair, the pitching coach for the Expos, and he said if Patterson keeps the ball down, he'll be fine. Mitchell Page said he loves to use his slider in on the left-handed batters, and he makes some mistakes against right-handers out over the plate.
Check on Edmonds, who drew a 1-out walk. Then Cedeno struck out. And Mabry is at the plate with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. No score here in the second. Expos put a little 2-out rally together, top of this inning, but Carpenter got around it. That's wide, 2-2. Our very best wishes, and we're thinking of you, and get well to Jim Weber. Works out at West County Volvo Saab, sales manager. Going through a tough time, but we're thinking about you, and get better and get back down here to the ballpark. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Just missed. Patterson almost made that same pitch that he made to get Cedeno.
How about this? Dorian Magwitz, you know, the former owner of Hamilton Jewelers and our good friend.
Sure.
Celebrating a very special birthday here tonight. He won't tell us how old he is, but he's with Bernice, his granddaughter, really his wife, but and Bob and Lorraine Hoymer.
Here's a 3-2, and that's ball 4. 2 walks in the inning, and it's up to Mike Matheny. Mike getting 256, 2 homers, 33 RBIs.
Last 5 games, he's hit successfully. 7 for 22, a 318 average.
Nice stab by Schneider, who before that pitch was giving signs to his infielder.
A lot of times this is defensive signs. He's talking. Sometimes they'll communicate from the bench, you know, on bunt plays, different defensive alignments that they want. Whether to play double play depth.
Runners on at first and second, 2 out. Matheny trying to give his pitcher, Chris Carpenter, who waits on deck, second inning lead. 2-1.
Joe, can you conceive of Montreal going to any other city other than the D.C., Northern Virginia area?
People say the best bid has come out of Vegas, but I can't imagine Major League Baseball going to Vegas. There's a strike, 2-2, not only because of the gambling ramifications, but because Vegas seems like it's a destination spot for people for 2 or 3 days. If they're not doing well at the tables, maybe 1 day, and then they're out of there. But it is the fastest growing city, at least one of them, in North America. Here's a 2-2. 2 on, 2 out. Inning over. Patterson strikes out. 2 in the inning. He gives up 2 walks. Cardinals lead 2, and after 2, no score. Corcoran, Mr. Lamping, checking out tonight's ball game. Mark Lamping coming to the Cardinals from Anheuser-Busch, and the news yesterday that Busch Stadium will be the name of the new ballpark.
That'd be the third one. I mean, gosh, I don't think there's any baseball fan or any Cardinal fan that's disappointed with that announcement. And any other way, it would have been a huge disappointment.
Patterson takes a pitch upstairs, ball one. We're underway in the third inning. John is 1 out of 15. Trying to get on in front of Brad Wilkerson and Endy Chavez. 1 ball, 1 strike from Carpenter, who got around a 2-out double by Sledge and a single by Alex Gonzalez.
You see the ceiling right in front of Pujols' locker? You know, people are still not sure about why we need a new stadium, but the plumbing and all the electric and everything is rotted out. But there is about a 6-inch hole, and the ceiling panels drop down about 4 inches, just where you just see the water has over the time and just keep on seeping through.
83 years ago, August 5th, 1921, KDKA Radio provides its listeners with the first ever broadcast of a major league game. That's in Pittsburgh. Phillies fell victim to the Pirates 8-5. Bob Ramsey's working the radio tonight, and our get well wishes to the voice of Wayne Hagen.
Well, in more ways than one, right? Rammer's getting to work this weekend, but Wayne Hagen has been battling a throat problem for a couple weeks, and wish him the best. So the doctors have recommended a long stay as far as Rammer tells the story. But he's going to miss, I think, his next 3 days.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Wilkerson pops it up. It's a pretty good rip, but get under it. Popped it up to Womack. Where is Tavares? No, this time it's Womack. 2 out. On Sunday, Cardinals take on the Mets. All fans 15 and under with a paid admission receive a kids cap featuring Albert Pujols, courtesy of BJC Healthcare. Cap is styled to look like the back of Albert's jersey. Sunday the 8th is also a family Sunday and an ice cream Sunday. For tickets or more information, 421-3060. Log on to stlcardinals.com. As you saw during Cardinals tonight, Albert Pujols today went over to Children's Hospital, went room to room, spreading good cheer, and little lady asked him to hit a home run for her. So he said, I can't promise anything, but I'll do my best.
All right, came a little short, but he's got a few more at bats. Hey, remember you tried that C2 Cardinal Coca-Cola?
Yes.
Well, I got a deal for you. See 2 St. Louis Cardinal games for the price of 1. Remember August 20th, we had that day-night doubleheader?
Yes.
And if you go to any of your supermarkets and you find one of these, they have a peel-off sticker on your C2 Coca-Cola, you bring that to the Cardinals and you get to see the doubleheader for the price of 1.
Good deal.
Yeah. Or you can just bring the, there's a little deal there, but you bring it to show the Coca-Cola C2 product at the Busch Stadium ticket office, purchase a ticket for the 12-10 game, and you get a free ticket of equal or lesser value for the 7-10 game.
Renteria had to hurry to get Chavez, who runs well. A 1-2-3 inning for Carpenter. Bottom of the third. Carpenter, Womack, Renteria coming up. No score. We welcome you back to Busch Stadium into the bottom of the third inning. Chris Carpenter first up for the Cardinals. Then he'll be followed by Womack and Renteria. John Patterson deals, and it's a strike over the outside part. Carpenter this season has 5 hits and 46 at-bats. 1 RBI on the year. Reaching for it, it's 0-2. Carpenter was not nice to Patterson during his at-bat. Patterson had no chance to hit the breaking pitches of Chris Carpenter, and now Patterson would like to return the favor. Carpenter at least puts it in play. Cue ball shot to Nick Johnson, 1 out. Sunday, August 8th, after the Cardinals take on the Mets, will be the gala pairings party and auction at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel for the Mad Hungarian Legends Classic.
That's really all we got left, Joe. Golf, I think, is finally sold out.
Here, you read this thing.
Well, okay, but I told you Keith Hernandez is going to be there. You see the Hall of Famers listed. Hey, Pagnozzi got taken off, but Andy Bennis, Vida Blue, Mudcat Grant, Dan McLaughlin's going to be my master of ceremony. Todd Worrell, Luis Tiant, Ted Sizemore, Conrad Dober, Jim Kick, Bob Horner, Kenny Reitz, Gorman Thomas, Mike Tyson, Whitey Herzog, Bob Force, Keith Kachuk, Pagnozzi, that's it. All the guys going to come in, and all to be 32 legends, and all to benefit the Health Careers Foundation. For more information, call Judy Eaglehoff, 314-770-1626.
Womack is in the hole, a ball and 2 strikes. An axe from Patterson misses high and away. Tony Womack is trying to get that average back up over the 300 mark. Went through a rough stretch in this series. Is 2 out of 10. The 2-2 pitch, reaching for it, still 2-2. Got 5 home runs this season. His career high in any year is 7. Watch that for hours. Womack, nice play by Batista. Falls as he throws and still gets the out. That is what you get when you look to the heavens in the first inning. I wonder what he was doing prior to that. Did he do his little feet coming out?
Yeah, and I think that's why, I guess he was equal to the task on a hard hit ball, backhanded, and a little awkward the way he threw that ball, but he got the job done. It was right on line.
Now with 2 out, here is Edgar. Breaking ball has Renteria flinching. Strike 1. Well, that'll get your attention.
You and Timmy will be doing that game, right?
Yes. The 0-1. 0-2. Renteria missed a chance in the 8th inning to give the Cardinals their lead back last night. It into a 6-4-3 double play to end a threat. And Pujols hit the game-winning home run, but he is 4 out of 12 in this series. As the Cardinals still don't have a hit. Ball 1 down and away. On 1-2, Renteria gives the Cardinals their first knock. And maybe Pujols can ride one out of here and give the Cardinals the first runs.
Everything Pujols has ever done is Ruthian-like, so might as well go deliver that home run request for a sick child.
4th career game-ending home run last night in the 9th inning. 31 home runs now on the season. Pops it up down the right side, and that will play for Sledge. The inning comes to a close. Cardinals get their first hit, leave their 3rd, and after 3, no score with Montreal. We move into the 4th inning tomorrow. The Cardinals are back in action against Mike Piazza and the Mets. Coverage begins at 6:30. The Cardinals tonight right here on FSN Midwest. Tomorrow evening, and the pitching matchup will be Matt Morris against Tom Glavine. Saturday, it's Woody Williams and Chris Benson. How good was Woody Williams his last time out that Sunday night in San Francisco?
Outstanding. Good matchups all the way through.
Yeah, Marquis and Leiter on Sunday. Vidro takes the ball up and away.
Mets big winners today, 11-6 over Milwaukee.
Mets are trying to hang in there. That ball is Hit on one hop to Pujols. Hard hit, well played, one out. The Mets with that victory. They started the day 8 out. Atlanta's playing in Houston right now, so right now they're 7.5 out. But they did make the deals at the deadline for Victor Zambrano and Chris Benson. And it will be a good trade in my estimation if and only if they lock up Chris Benson, because they gave up a lot of their youth, a lot of their young prospects in the minor leagues like Scott Kazmir, plus a young catcher, a couple of young pitchers to get Zambrano and Benson. Good breaking ball, and Batista flails at it 0-2.
And if they don't lock him up and they don't win, it becomes quite costly.
On 0-2 and one out, Carpenter misses with the fastball.
I think the Mets have to compete an awful lot in that city for the back page of the tabloids.
May have gotten sucked into that.
Yeah, I guess that's better terminology.
Trying to make a difference, and really it's not, can't fault them for trying, but the question was the timing. As they had already started to slip out as that pitch hits the bat of Batista instead of his arm. And still 1-2. They made the deals. They were in Atlanta on that Saturday. They lost Saturday, lost Sunday, and were swept by the first place Atlanta Braves, and all of a sudden they were 7 out with 2 new pitchers. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cardinals did nothing at the trading deadline, but that's not to say they won't continue to look and try to get somebody who's cleared waivers before the end of August. How good was that pitch?
That was a knee bender.
4 strikeouts for Carpenter, 2 out.
12-6 curveball. This is what it looks like. 12 on the dial, and then it drops straight down. And you see those knees just buckled there from Batista, like, uh-oh, what was that? And once it starts falling and the knees fall too, you're in trouble.
Now it's Nick Johnson hitting 246. Another good curveball for strike 1.
You throw one that you get ahead in the count with, then you got another one that you can bury a hitter with.
Frustration continues for Johnson as Womack juggles it, throws a sinker to Pujols, but the inning is over. Down go the Expos. 1, 2, 3. Rolen, Edmonds, Cedeno. Coming up, no score. Chris Carpenter able to take a seat with his catcher nearby, and our hot pitch of the game brought to you by Hardee's, the old knee buckler.
And here it is, that curveball to put away Tony Batista.
There's Don Thompson.
You know, Captain Kangaroo and I used to be down in the bullpen together.
Bob Keeshan. Wasn't that his name? Bob Keeshan? Played Captain Kangaroo?
I think I knew it was Bob something.
Bob Keeshan, I believe.
Don's a great guy.
Don. And he looks fantastic from that angle, too. I mean, that's an angle.
He inherited old Doggy Lynch's chair.
Rolen lined out to deep right his first time up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Supermodels look good from that side, and so does Don Thompson.
Well, we ought to turn Don around so you could see the resemblance of Captain Kangaroo.
1 ball, 1 strike. Rolen hitting 332, takes 1 up and in.
Don's a good guy, guards that door. Doesn't let anybody in but Joe Buck.
That's right.
You remember Doggy?
Oh, yeah. He scared the heck out of me.
I was going to say.
2-2.
He had to be a giant to you.
Oh.
There he is
There
a little bit, you know. Just very mean man. Very stern. Don Thompson.
Ah, he's the best. That just missed inside. Patterson thought he had another strikeout. He's already struck out 3. But Rolen is still at the plate. Don is still in his chair. A leadoff walk. That'll put a smile on the face of Don Thompson. See?
There he is.
He always smiles at the walks. the only thing that can make him happy. Walks.
But he was the guard down in the bullpen when I was.
You know what's funny?
Throwing the rubber.
The whole Captain Kangaroo, and I've known Don literally since I was about 1.
And you never thought that?
I never put the two together.
But do you see the resemblance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think Mr. Keeshan has left us. For,
yes, he has.
He's in the great beyond.
So there is a career for Don. He's a retired teacher.
Tune in later when we go out to the Cardinal bullpen and Mr. Green Jeans is standing watch. Ball 1 up and away. So Patterson issues the leadoff walk. Thought he had Rolen struck out. Now Edmonds, who was real frustrated after his night last night, will wait for a 1-0 pitch. He's looking for home run number 30. He's looking for maybe 80 RBIs if he could connect here. Wouldn't be maybe. I mean, 2 plus 78 is 80.
And leads the National League in extra base hits, 1 more than his teammate Albert Pujols.
See if Patterson grooves one.
Fastball away.
And it's right there, away, 2-0. Atlanta and Houston, by the way, I mentioned those two teams are playing. They are 1-1, bottom of the 3rd inning. Rolen is on at first, nobody out, 2 balls, no strikes on Edmonds. He's sitting on a pitch to Rip. And I think his follow-through caught Schneider, the catcher.
Yeah, he did that last night. As a lot of catchers want to know the length of a guy's backswing, and they adjust their stance, how close they get to the plate accordingly. I've never seen Jimmy have a problem with any catcher other than Schneider the last couple nights.
How color coordinated is that catching gear for Schneider?
Oh, it's just phenomenal. It must be Rawlings.
The way it pops. I mean, it's like something out of Starlight Express, the musical. The Tin Man.
It's got the knee savers. Back on the calves where you get in that catcher stance. It saves the knees a little bit. That padding right back here. Oh, you moved on me.
That's okay.
Now that's Jimmy.
Come on, Al.
I got a slow draw.
That's back-to-back walks. Four walks tonight. Now do it while he's trotting out there. See if you can do it. Come on, circle it. Lead him. There.
Do the whole thing.
So now with 2 on and nobody out, Roger Cedeno will be the hitter.
Andy St. Clair out to talk to him, pitching coach. There's no better look for a Montreal catcher than a hockey mask. That fits.
One of the better ones. I mean, I think Matheny just has an STL on top of his. This has a little design to it. I mean, when you are a catcher in Montreal, one of the hockey capitals of the world, you can put a little bit of artwork on your mask. That's what they do in the NHL, what Schneider has done in MLB. Unless I'm seeing things. Cedeno struck out looking his first time up. Best chance tonight for the Cardinals, and Cedeno was sitting on that pitch, strike 1.
.316 average. And he's been a good luck charm of late.
And he's got the M in the front of his helmet, which as a kid I used to think was ELB for some reason. And then Montreal painted on the side of his mask. Here's an 0-1. Cedeno pops it into left center field. Not deep enough for Rolen to advance, and it's first and second, 1 out. I wonder if you can see out of a mask like that. See how Schneider did following this ball off the bat.
You know, this time of night, it's sometimes lights haven't taken effect and you're looking for pop-ups, you don't know where it is. If it's on the ice, he'd find the puck.
Absolutely. Now it's Mabry with 2 on, 1 out. John walked his first time. 7 home runs, 27 RBIs. Rolen and Edmonds are on, and that's ball 1. Defensively, they shade Mabry to hit it the other way a touch. Last 6 starts, Mabry is hitting over .550 as he foul tips 1 ball, 1 strike.
Just a great guy in the clubhouse. So well liked by his teammates, and he's 4 for 5 coming into this game. Oh, and he walked his first time up in this series.
That's low, 2-1.
326 average, 368 against left-handed pitching, 313 against righties. Had a 3 for 5 game on Saturday at San Francisco, and then big game last night, 4 for 4 with a home run.
Count in his favor, 2-1, 3-1. Well, let's see if he can get the pitch he's looking for on 3-1 and belt it. Got a fastball by him, 3-2. Good sign if you're Patterson. Fastball count. Mabry looking for one, got it, couldn't hit it.
Last night he got an 0-2 fastball that he hit for a home run off of Livan Hernandez. 3-2, 1 out.
The runners stay put. Mabry pops it up. First 2 are on. Now they're on with 2 out. And it's up to Matheny. Let's go back to the 3-1 pitch to Mabry.
Swings through that fastball there. And remember, Randy St. Clair said if you get the ball down, he'll have good success. He popped it up. Only 1 hit allowed tonight, but he's gotten in trouble with his 4 walks.
Matheny had 2 on with 2 out his first time up and struck out. Patterson has pitched well. Should be happy, thrilled if he can dance off that mound, keeping this scoreless after walking the first 2 hitters. That just missed, ball 1.
From Texas, originally drafted by Montreal, but on a technicality went to Arizona, and then a late trade from Arizona, and he came back to Montreal this spring.
1 ball, 1 strike on Mike. Arizona Diamondbacks today traded Roberto Alomar back to the Chicago White Sox.
White Sox have lost a lot of offense due to injury.
Frank Thomas has been injured, and then Maglio Ordonez is probably out for the year. White Sox are 6 out at the start of the day. 2 on with 2 out, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now 2 strikes on Matheny. White Sox are playing in Kansas City, 1-0 Royals, bottom of the 5th. The team they're chasing, Minnesota, they lost today to Anaheim.
Texas won again, 2-1.
Had a chance the day before the All-Star game to sit down with Frank Robinson and all of the living 500 home run club members.
By the way, nice job.
The All-Star game?
Yeah.
They made it tough on us with the old 6-run first inning against Roger Clemens. We had fun. And Robinson was so neat to watch all of those guys interact. McGuire was there in the back of the room. He was just kind of taking it all in, listening to the thoughts of Willie Mays, Hank Aaron. That's low. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and the runners will go. On deck is the Cardinal pitcher, Chris Carpenter.
In the 4th inning, and already 75 pitches. And could be out of it with 1 more.
That'll load him up. 3 walks in the inning, but it still takes something from the Cardinal pitcher to turn it into runs.
Remember, too, though, I said since coming off the disabled list, he's yet to exceed 5 innings in any of his 4 starts. It looks like he's not going to get much past the 5th inning in this one. Still working in the 4th.
Carpenter grounded out his first time and missed that by plenty.
So Marquis leads all National League pitchers, so that's all Major League, and hits and RBIs.
Only 1 RBI for Carpenter. Up the middle, and the gigantic body of Patterson able to knock it down. And then he gets the out. The inning is over. The Cardinals strand 3. They've left 6. They still have only 1 hit all night, and after 4, no. Chris Carpenter back to the hill. There is no score as we go to the 5th inning. Our Aflac trivia question is this: the last 2 players to win the Triple Crown. Well, we all know the last, or many people know the last.
And I assume one's in the American League. Well, no.
They have to both
be in the American League. Yeah. I don't know if that's a hint. Knowing our guys in the truck, they're kind of sneaky.
Here we go into the 5th inning. Termel Sledge, Alex Gonzalez, and Brian Schneider.
How about we say who's the last National Leaguer, as everyone's contemplating that question.
On the inside corner for a strike to Sledge. The next. Oh, pretty good breaking ball. Carpenter thought he had strike 2. Instead, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Sledge, his first time doubled into left center field. Guy gets a good rip. Strike 2.
Couple belated birthdays here. Don't want to wait too long for Esther Schmidt of Jackson, Missouri. She's age 92. And Francis Lohman of Arnold, Missouri, 96. So happy birthday.
Foul ball keeps it 1-2. Medwick was the last National Leaguer to do it, 1937. I wanted to make sure of the year.
That's it, 37.
But we're looking for the last 2. The 1-2. Oh, that caught Carpenter on the foot. Rolen gets the out, and hopefully Carpenter's okay.
You know what? I think he is. I think it got him on the sole of the shoe. I saw him, you know, before the game. He had a big bruise, and he looks like he's showing the sole, but he had a big bruise on back of his leg, and on a line drive he took. Last night, Suppan took one on the pitching shoulder, but everybody is satisfied that he's okay, and a heads-up play by Scott Rolen.
Great play by Rolen. Had to use all of the strength in that right arm to get the out. 1-5-3 on the putout. And it either caught him on the heel area or the sole of the shoe and kicked to Rolen, who was ready, willing, and as it turns out, able to get the out. Here's Alex Gonzalez, who had an infield hit. One of only 2 Montreal hits, and a breaking ball makes him duck. Ball 1. into right field, and Cedeno hauls in out number 2. Let's see if the Frank Robinson shot was a hint. The last 2 players to win the Triple Crown.
He played for Boston.
Yastrzemski, Boston, 1967, that great season, and Robinson the year before for Baltimore. 2 out, nobody on for Schneider. Wow, got a bullseye on it. Carpenter's okay, turns it into an out. Pujols was ready to jump, didn't have to, and Carpenter wants to get off the field, man. They're taking rips at him. He's okay, thankfully, and he's down there laughing about it. They go in order, still no score. Home field advantage goes to the family arriving at the game in their all-new Ford Freestar. Now up to $6,000 cash back or 0% APR for 60 months. Only at your Quality Ford stores, your home run to Cardinal baseball fun. After a little tutorial as to how to keep score at a ball game. Hey, that's Donnie Danforth. One of the all-time great infielders at Country Day High School.
One on the left or right?
The one on the right.
Okay. Just want to get that straight.
Top of the order for the Cardinals here in the 5th, and congratulations from me, Joe Buck, to you, Harry Freeman Jr., on your hole-in-one today. How about that? A hole-in-one for Harry Freeman Jr. Impressive, kid. No balls, 2 strikes. That was a real deal.
Really?
I could pull off the putt-putt one, not the real deal one. Well, Mac trying to get a hit the other way in the hole. Gonzalez, more of that great defense. Boy, good play.
So he's been very impressive defensively in this series, and we know he's got a slick glove. Cubs were ready to have turn the page, and they were looking for a more productive shortstop, but defense wins you championships.
Here's Renteria. Edgar does the defense part and the offense part. Check the swing. He did not go. Ball 1. Edgar tonight has the only Cardinal hit. Single through the hole and into left his last time up. He's now 1 out of 3 as Sledge waits for it. And the first 2 are gone. Pujols will be the hitter. 2 out, nobody on. He's 0 for 2. What's on tap? Brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. And game time tomorrow night at 7:10. We'll be on the air, FSN Midwest at 6:30. Tom Glavine, Matt Morris. And the Cardinals deal with Benson on Saturday. And the last time Benson faced the Cardinals, he shut him down through 8 innings in Pittsburgh. That's in for a strike from Patterson. 3 for 11 in this set for Pujols. 0 for 2 tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Patterson, the pitcher, will lead it off in the 6th. Then Wilkerson and Andy Chavez. Off the end of the bat, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rolen, Mabry, and Pujols. Although Mabry does not have the at-bats that Rolen and Pujols have. Our Budweiser leaderboard out in right field.
I think Mabry's very happy to see that out there.
Absolutely. I think Mabry put it up there. Here's the 1-2. That's foul.
Good eyes, Joe.
Well, I had a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, you did. It was hit hard. Good call, Joe. Kind of reminds me of this scoreless game with only 3 hits combined. Tom Meade told me before the game the Cardinals were going to have their most lopsided win.
A 1-2 pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, we're only in the 5th.
Yep. Maybe the 25th will get a bunch. Hey, well-pitched game, both sides.
On 2-2. Full count. Rolen next. Full count. Pujols trying to pop it down into the corner. Sledge won't get there. One hop up against. And Albert Scott, a 2-out double.
How many Texas guys are pitchers? This is another one from Orange, Texas. Out away from, not a bad pitch at all, but just shows you, Tony talks about Albert trusting his hands. You can keep your hands back longer and then just trust that if they'll get to the ball.
He said that about the Texas because he's got that flag on his glove.
But he is from Texas.
He is.
Orange.
Here's Rolen, RBI chance. He has 96. Late on a good fastball from Patterson, 0-1. Roger Clemens, who is from Texas, had a 300 win patch on his glove.
Yeah. Roger used to wear that 21, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
And anytime you see a Texas pitcher, you got 21, you got to think it's because of Roger Clemens. Maybe.
That just missed. By the way, Roger Clemens was apologized to.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because we all kind of made fun of it.
Don't say we all. You were on the air. I was all home.
Yeah, but you laughed too.
You don't know what I did.
You laughed.
Here's a 1-1. Runner at second, 2 out. 2 balls and a strike. David King, who's the president of the tournament organizer for Triple Crown Sports, said Mr. Clemens was a non-aggressor and a victim of mistaken identity and confusion by an upset umpire. And he was kicked out of his 10-year-old's baseball game last weekend. The 2-1, 3-1 with Edmonds next.
Which he really wasn't, as you said, mistaken identity. He was at the game earlier and walked away, and found out later they were saying, hey, he got kicked out and spitting sunflower seeds. He said, I must be the world champ. I was 20, 30 yards away from the umpire.
Here comes a 3-1. Popped up and a play for Schneider. Inning is over. Cardinals waste the 2-out double by Pujols as we go to the 6th. No quadruplets at the ballpark tonight. Check in later and see if the parents are asleep. We go pitch by pitch, brought to you by Chevrolet.
Fastball and slider. So he comes back and has a sinker. Slider off the plate. And fastball up and in, and he pops it up. A lot of times Mitchell Page expected mistakes out away, and Scott Rolen could tell you that one was up and in. Fastball kind of runs up and in, and that pitch there, you see it, but oftentimes you swing through it or you pop it up.
Ball and 2 strikes on Patterson leading it off. He's 0 for 1. And Wilkerson, Andy Chavez.
Carpenter's retired 10 in a row.
Got by the glove of Carpenter, but not by the glove of Womack. 1 out.
This didn't hit him.
Close, but it didn't get him. Sports List is the new show that counts down the top 10 best and worst of everything and anything in sports. Tonight, find out the greatest individual performances in sports history. Host Summer Sanders will give that to you tonight. Fox Sports Net. Actually, tomorrow on Fox Sports Net. This says tonight. The promo says tomorrow. You're going to have to find it yourself.
I'll try tomorrow.
Well, if it's going to happen at 5, it better be tomorrow.
Yeah. And uh-oh. Is there 5 there? No, there's 4.
There's 4.
An empty seat.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Cute.
Very cute. Can you imagine?
No.
That's outside. 2 balls and a strike. Houston's taking a 3-1 lead over Atlanta. It's good news for the Mets. Maybe in town watching this game, as they could be 7 out at the end of the night. Philadelphia, by the way, they've climbed to within 4.5. They play at San Diego later.
Cardinals' next road trip, Florida and Atlanta.
A 1-out walk. Carpenter's not happy with himself as he has just given up his first of the night. And it's 1 on, 1 out for Chavez.
Waiting for Renteria to tell him who's covering on a ball back to the pitcher. And then Edgar said, I am, you and me.
Be tough to double this guy. He can fly.
And he's pretty good at hitting down on the ball.
On the inside corner. Good pitch. Strike 1.
Hit 2 ground balls tonight, but you know, showed last night a couple times how he accentuates hitting down and take advantage of that great running speed.
Line drive, 1 out on the play, 2 out in the inning. No chance to turn 2 as Wilkerson did not stray too far from first. Now it's Jose Vidro coming to the plate.
This guy's pretty loyal. A lot of his former teammates have defected, gone to elsewhere through free agency. He's stuck it out and signed up, not knowing where they're going to be.
They waved some millions in front of him, though, and he was willing to take it. Major League Baseball said at one point last year that it would be this year and it in Montreal for the Expos. They would have a new home next year somewhere. And then word came out that we would hear right around the All-Star break. And now still anybody's guess.
And now the line is, well, we want to get it right.
2 balls and a strike on Vidro, who's hitting .283 with 12 home runs.
Crowds have really dwindled in Puerto Rico. That's still the case. But that was awfully expensive.
Switch hitting, second baseman waits and grounds it foul. 2-2. Vidro needs a new bat. Vidro is hitting .284 overall at the start of the day. .283 right-handed, .285 left-handed. He has hit 11 of his 12 home runs from this side, batting left-handed. And this is a guy that early in the season, when the Yankees were not sure about the combination of Enrique Wilson and Miguel Cairo, but he thought they might target Jose Vidro to become their second baseman. That is slashed fair, and now Wilkerson may end up scoring. He digs for third. Mabry trying to dig it out. Gets it back to Renteria. The throw home is going to be late, 1-0. On the double for an RBI by Jose Vidro. Put it in a perfect spot. And the walk to Wilkerson leads to a run.
It was a hanging breaking ball, and Wilkerson has to play all the way in front of him. See, it's down in the corner, and he knows that Mabry has to wait for it to come to him, and he can circle the bases. Watch the pitch, Joe. Doesn't pull down on it. It's hanging out there. He put down his front foot, but he still had his hands back. Saw that it was out away from him. Easy for him to poke it down into the left field corner. Good piece of hitting.
Now Batista takes the ball. Batista's 0 for 2.
He's 3 for 14 in the series, but we remember what he did the first night.
Strike makes it 1-1. We're in the 6th, and the Expos have the first run of the night. Cardinals have stranded 7. The Expos have left 2. A grand total of 5 hits. One and 2. The pitch from Carpenter. Cardinals will have Edmonds, Cedeno, and Mabry in their half of this inning.
I knew Carpenter didn't like walking his first man and didn't like leaving a breaking ball up, hanging, didn't pull down on it.
That's foul.
An overworked bullpen for Montreal, and you got a pitcher that this is the first time that he's gone. Well, we haven't gone through 5 yet, but at least has pitched 5 innings.
Now Matheny is going to go talk.
Hey, happy birthday to Randy Julius. He's one of the Cardinals' biggest fans. He's been so all of his life. This is a nice message from your wife, your daughter, your son, your daughter-in-law, and your grandchildren, Zach and Amy.
Runner at second, 2 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball gets away from Matheny. And over to third goes Vidro. Wild pitch from Carpenter and a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Batista.
Let's watch this breaking ball set up there. Almost looked like Mike. That is so un-Mike Matheny-like. Trying to stab at the ball instead of dropping to his knees and smothering it. Walking the 8-hole better than anyone.
Still 2-2. But the rookie third baseman for the New York Mets, David Wright, who drove in 6 runs in their 11-6 win at Milwaukee today. It is third big league home run, and it'll be fun to watch him this weekend. Batista wins. That'll end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Expos get the first run of the night on a 1-out walk to Wilkerson and a 2-out RBI double by Vidro. Edmonds will start it off. Look at Chris Carpenter giving up that double to Jose Vidro and how that ball stayed up.
You know, Joe, it's sometimes we talk about the 12-6 and it's important, you know, like how I kind of threw it was on the seams, but pulling down a lampshade. And what happens on a lot of those pitches is you get underneath it and it kind of gets to be a frisbee throw, and so you'll leave it up high and away, just like he did in that ball that was hit down the corner for the double.
Edmonds leads it off and hits one into deep right field. Will that carry? At the wall, Edmonds has number 30, and the Cardinals have tied it at 1. Well, that lead didn't last long as Edmonds sprints around the bases, and even 30 on the year.
And he hits one, and they sure are pretty. 30th home run, and he's been on quite a home run tear. Player of the month, and look at this. Extension and that liftoff, just even one-handed, but he gets underneath it and drives that ball. Player of the month of April, he hit 13 home runs, July, and look at that. He's got both hands on the point of contact, and then at contact, then that backhand comes off of it, but it's still, he gets the full force of the swing through the ball.
Ball one inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cedeno is 0 for 2. 2-2. Just low. 3-2. Cedeno into left center field. That ball's going to get down and be at least a double. Played well by Chavez in left center, and Cedeno is the go-ahead run at second with nobody out.
We talked about how this pitcher hasn't gotten through the 5th inning, and the pitcher's getting up out over the plate. And this is what gets things started. We tie the ball game up. We started talking about the Cardinals with comeback team, 3rd best comeback total in the National League, and this could be another night.
We talk about a short leash for Patterson. Cardinals have 1 run on 4 hits. And the left-hander Joey Eisen is coming in. Patterson is gone. And we will step aside for a break. Double by Cedeno. Red Hot Mabry coming up. The Cardinals have tied it. No baseball on Fox Sports Net, brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box now accepts MasterCard and Visa at most restaurants. And by Geico, a 15-minute call can save you 15% or more on car insurance. The home run by Edmonds in slow motion. That tied it. The double by Cedeno chased Patterson, and the call in the bullpen is brought to you by the St. Louis Renaissance Grand Hotel. It's Joey Eisen.
Joey just came off the disabled list. He had a long stint. Started with elbow surgery. Removed about 10 loose bodies in his elbow. And then during his rehab, they had to take a part of the elbow, the bone, they shaved it off. They kind of created a channel to put the nerve through there, but on part of his rehab, the bone started to crack, so they had to shut him back down. He also has some other loose bodies there, but they said that they will remove those when he's through pitching. And he's a batting practice guy.
Mabry takes ball 2, 2-0. You could make the case that for a team like the Montreal Expos, aren't going anywhere, 22 games under the 500 mark, you got a guy like Patterson who's allowed 1 run on 4 hits. He just gave up the tying home run. Yeah, he gave up the double to Cedeno, but see what he can do. See if he can get out of the inning and keep it tied. You're not playing for a pennant here.
Well, I think his pitch count was way up, Joe.
And Mabry takes it on the outside corner.
But I will say I'm the first one that doesn't believe in all these pitch counts either.
2 balls and a strike on Mabry. So he showed bunt, then he took it away. Kendo goes through the signs, and we'll see if the Cardinals stay with a bunt or let Mabry swing it.
Could be one of those situations that goes from pitch to pitch.
103 pitches on the night for John Patterson, in case you're wondering. Mabry frustrated. The Cardinals do have a sign that they will give from time to time, not to say that's the case here, where the sign is get him over any way you can, meaning if you feel like you want to bunt him over, you can pull the pitcher, and in this situation, if you're Mabry and get him over, you can get a hit. It's up to you. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I imagine they will abandon the bunt. Almost walked into it. And Schneider able to jump on it after it popped out of his glove.
Eisen right now doesn't have the command that sometimes he's a little more difficult to bunt against, because the ball is going to be up. It's going to be all over the place. John had a pitch. Frustrated he didn't put it down, but we'll see if it's better off now. Taking it off.
Pops it up. So Mabry does not advance the runner, and Nick Johnson has it for out number 1. So with Cedeno at second, here comes another pitching change. Matheny is coming up. Frank Robinson comes out of the dugout. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC. The Expos are managing here in the 6th inning. Pitching changes, and lefty-righty and righty-lefty, and the right-handers coming out of the bullpen for the Montreal Expos. It's T.J. Tucker, people. Tuesday, August 17th, the Cardinals take on the Reds. It's AMC Theaters, and the Cardinals are bringing all fans 15 and under with a paid admission an action photo of Albert Pujols. Attached to the photo is a coupon for a free small popcorn at AMC Theaters. Tuesday the 17th, you can also take advantage of the MasterCard Grand Slam ticket pack. Like more info, call 421-3060 or log on to stlcardinals.com. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by the St. Louis Renaissance Grand Hotel. T.J. Tucker.
T.J. takes over. He appeared in Tuesday's game, worked an inning, gave up 1 run on 2 hits, allowed an RBI single to Renteria. Pitches very well during the day, ERA under 1, and it jumps to almost 5 at night.
On the inside corner for a strike. What's going on out in that Cardinal bullpen?
Izzy.
Somebody's
King,
cutting up
Klein,
out there.
Murph's trying to straighten out a couple left-handers and a closer. Good luck.
Here comes an 0-1 pitch to Matheny, trying to put the Cardinals on top for the first time tonight. Did not look good on that pitch, down and away. 0-2. Best wishes to a longtime fan, Everett McGonigal. Is in Barnes Hospital. Get better soon. That's from your daughter and son-in-law who are here tonight. So Everett McGonigal, they're thinking about you here at the ballpark. Runner at second, 1 out. No balls, 2 strikes. Carpenter next. One and 2. Matheny has struck out and walked. He's going to have to get it done here, or it would be up to Carpenter. That's wide, 2-2. Patterson went 5 1/3, allowed a run on 4 hits. Struck out 3, walked 5. Allowed the home run. 2 Edmonds leading off this inning to tie it. Eischen won 1/3 of an inning, and now it's Tucker.
Tucker's just worrying about that batter. Casual glance, now a little longer glance.
That's into center field. Cedeno will come home. They got a shot at him. The throw to the plate in time. Cedeno out in the inning. We'll continue with Carpenter coming up and a runner at first as Matheny did what he could, but Chavez came up with a good throw. Cedeno was out by plenty.
You got your 8th spot coming up and your pitcher behind, so you've got to send the runner there. And it just took an excellent throw and tagged by the catcher. You gave credit to the defense. They were equal to the task. Saw the Carpenter, the on-deck man, trying to tell Cedeno to slide. But there's nothing wrong with Oquendo sending them in that situation with a pitcher coming up.
Now it's Carpenter up, runner at first, 2 out in a 1-1 game. Good work by the Montreal bullpen in this inning as Carpenter grounds it. Nice play by Batista. Throw across to end the inning. And some good defense. Almost some timely hitting by Matheny. Play at the plate keeps it tied 1-1 as we go to the 7th. And this Saturday, it's the Fox Saturday Baseball Game of the Week. The New York Mets taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Will hit the air at 12 o'clock St. Louis time. with our pregame show, and then a matchup: Chris Benson, Woody Williams.
Happy birthday, Colin Andrews, his 30th from his lovely wife, Jeannie Andrews, who works in our television truck right here at Busch Stadium. Happy birthday, Colin.
A run on 3 hits in the bottom of the 6th inning. Leadoff home run. And it's 1-1 as we go to the 7th. Carpenter's doing all he can. It'll be Nick Johnson, Termel Sledge, and Alex Gonzalez for Montreal. That's strike 1. Strike 2. Good fastball from Carpenter.
Johnson 0 for 10 in this series. 0 for 2 tonight against Carpenter.
Ball 1. Couple of tap outs for Johnson. Waiting for a 1-2 pitch from Carpenter. Good pitch, down and in, 1 out. And for Chris, his 6th strikeout.
Set up inside. Little cutter. Gets that strikeout. Carpenter just going about his business. Had the little hiccup in the 6th when he walked a man, his first of the night, and then gave up the double for the RBI, but Jim Edmonds' home run got him back even and with it.
0-2. I like the way this guy swings.
Yeah, you can tell Termel Sledge has some talent. He's got off to a terrible start and then has really picked up the pace. Looks like he's comfortable in the outfield.
Breaking ball misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Sledge last year in Edmonton hit .324, had 22 home runs, 92 RBIs.
Another strikeout for Carpenter. 7 on the night.
And out there, and look at that bottom fall out.
So let's see if Carpenter can have a perfect inning and set up the top of the order in the bottom of this 7th. Womack, Renteria, Pujols coming up. Carpenter has saved some of his better pitches for this 7th inning. 1-1.
Still out there throwing well. More than twice as many strikes as balls, and still under 100 pitches.
Gonzalez off balance, pops it up. What a good inning for Chris. Rolen is there, and we go to the 7th inning stretch. The 3 out pitches of the top of the 7th. Struck out Johnson down and in. Took care of Sledge, and then gets the pop-up off the bat of Gonzalez. Everybody stretched. It's 1-1. Merchant is today's merchandise winner in the Hyundai long drive inning sweepstakes. Cardinals hit a home run in the 7th. Clint Merchant qualifies for the Hyundai Santa Fe drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. First pitch, a strike from Tucker to Tony Womack. Womack tonight is 0 for 3. Struck out, grounded out twice. Took a good play deep in the hole from Gonzalez to get him last time, and he is tied in knots by Tucker. 0-2. just outside. Let's go back to that strike 2 pitch down and into Womack.
Sometimes, you know, you see a pitch and you start your swing, and as you get halfway through it, that ball just starts diving at your feet, coming in on you, and you feel like you can't stop and you can't jump out of the way at the same time. So he missed with a fastball away, and then he brings that, you know, cutter or slider back inside. Looks like a fastball back away.
Womack likes to take those the opposite way, and that's high. Full count.
And on a 2-2 pitch, you know, you got the ball up a little bit higher and runs it full, but trying to get Tony, a little guy that's got to hit down on the ball, or a line drive type hitter, trying to get him to pop one up.
On 3-2, Womack pops it into left. Wilkerson almost lost it in the lights. 1 out. You haven't seen that happen in a while, right? An outfielder losing one in the lights?
Nah, not long ago.
So had to struggle through that 2 nights ago, and then last night caught one and exhaled after catching one to his left on a hard hit ball in the late innings. With 1 out, here is Edgar Renteria with Pujols next. That is back to our right. Back down into the seats. Renteria's hit 8 home runs. Tonight has one of only 5 Cardinal hits. That's low. One of our interns at FSN Midwest, Matt, I'd like to wish his parents, Robert, Diana Stravali, happy 27th wedding anniversary. Longtime Cardinal fans. Here comes a 1-1 pitch to Renteria. Off the end of the bat, strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Lisa Hopman of Paducah, Kentucky. She told she wants to wish her mother, Madge Fries, happy 86th birthday. She's been a Cardinal fan all of her life, watches and listens to every game. Right there in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
See if Edgar can get on for Pujols. Left side, tough play. Batista had to back up. Fires wide and out as Johnson kept his foot on the bag. Good play by Nick Johnson. He had to deal with that ball sailing right into the runner, Renteria.
Kind of lets the ball play him, but he gets it, and he has that little, had a little crow hop, and then he stood straight. And it was a good call by Gary Darlingly. It looked like he stayed on the bag long enough to get that throw.
So with 2 out, here is Albert Pujols in a 1-1 game, bottom of the 7th, and a shattered bat. 3 bounces to Gonzalez. Down go the Cardinals in the 7th. 8th inning rolls in. Schneider, then the pitcher's spot, then Wilkerson. For the Expos, it's 1-1. We move into the 8th inning, and Chris Carpenter goes back to the hill. Schneider, then the pitcher's spot, then Wilkerson. There are fireworks going on over the river.
Oh, yeah.
Why are there fireworks going on?
The River
over
Fest.
River Smash?
River Splash.
River Splash. That ball is ripped into right field. Cedeno is back at the wall. 1 out. Schneider gave it a ride, and this park barely held it.
Oh, I hope all those Mets fans saw that one. Saw that double by Cedeno and then saw that catch. Goes back on the ball. Reaches up. Crashes into the wall. Made a little more contact than he probably thought. A nice play right there and holds on. Right into that screen with the glove hand and his face kind of into the padding.
We are going to have a pinch hitter here as Henry Mateo, backup shortstop, will come off the bench and bat for Tucker. Nice work by T.J. Tucker. When an inning and a third allowed one hit. That's it.
Mateo 2 for 9 as a pinch hitter. He's activated after the All-Star break. He's a switch hitter. He led the Expos with 11 pinch hits last season, but he fractured that hymate bone there in the wrist. Had surgery on May the 4th.
Louis Ayala is getting loose for the Expos in their bullpen. Pitched here last night. That's not Bobby Ayala.
No. This one's from Las Mochis, Mexico. And Horrigan looks like he's getting up to lefty.
That's a base hit into left center field. An 0-2 pitch, and Mateo stands right on top of the plate. Puts the brakes on after a one-out single. Wilkerson now. Chavez to follow. Cardinal fans, do you know how easy it is to dress like your favorite player? Go to STLCardinals.com, click on Shop for everything from player jerseys to t-shirts and caps. STLCardinals.com, shop for all of your Cardinals merchandise. 1 on 1 out for Wilkerson, who has scored the only Montreal run of the night. Came home on a 2-out RBI double by Vidro. Strike one to Wilkerson.
Carpenter still throwing strikes. Only walk he allowed was to Wilkerson last time up.
That should be played easily by Mabry. 2 out. And Chavez will be the hitter. He's 0 for 3. Lined out to short his last time up.
Left-handed batters came into this game with a .279 average and 14 home runs against Carpenter. Right-handers 232 and 7. So this has been a good workout for him facing this many lefties.
Chavez is hitting .296. Dangerous hitter on deck.
Holding the ball there, trying to see if the base runner might try and take off. If they don't put a little hit and run on, something go. Down 22 games out of first place. Why not?
Exactly.
Got a pitcher that throws a lot of strikes, a lot of first pitch strikes. He doesn't get one here.
Ball 1 down and in. 105 pitches on the night. That'll pull his average up. Anytime he's been effective, though, in a ball game, as he is here tonight, 100-plus pitches is no big deal. It's when he's not effective, and that's what pulls his number down.
Yeah, and the one time he threw 127 pitches, you know, he was very effective, and he had an extra day's rest.
That makes it 2-0.
I don't know if a bug flew on his shoulder. Snapped back right after he delivered. I thought he lost his footing, but frightened by a moth.
They can be big around these parts. Cardinals thinking along these same lines as we are, that the Expos, with a guy like Chavez at the plate, and a guy who can run like Mateo at first, 2 out, do some running.
Well, especially, you know, You're falling behind the count 2-0, so you got to expect it's going to be a strike.
Not going, and there's a strike that drills the outside corner. 2-1.
Looked like he may have wanted to go, but something in Carpenter's motion stopped him.
2-1. That's into left field. Mabry came in, has to go back, and is there to end the inning. A little reroute, and you can see the look on Mabry's face like, eesh. First came in and then had to go back and get it. Some big bats are coming up for the Cardinals. Bottom of the 8th, tied at 1. Fireworks going on over the river. And here inside Busch Stadium, it's been quiet. Good defensive plays, great pitching. And a 1-1 score, bottom of the 8th. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the St. Louis Renaissance Grand Hotel. Luis Ayala.
It's been very busy. He's spun 26 2/3 straight scoreless innings. Leads the Expos with 14 holes and 55 appearances. GRA is 1.5 since beginning May 1st. And he's won his last 3 decisions out of the pen after losing his first 6 to start the season.
Rolen's tied up, strike 1. This could be only a 1-batter effort for Ayala.
That bullpen has been used quite a bit, and so trying to mix and match. Ayala, I think, is pitching all 3 games of the series.
Left-hander Horgan getting ready.
He will enter the game and pitch in all 3 games of the season of the series.
0-1 on Scott Rolen, who tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk. 1-1 game, bottom of the 8th. Cardinal bullpen is active with Isringhausen getting loose. Horgan is ready to go for Montreal. A 1-1, 2-1, 31,961. Paid to see this one, and that's a nice crowd on a Thursday night against Montreal.
Happy birthday to a longtime Cardinal fan, Bill Jackson, in Mount Vernon, Missouri. Mount Vernon, Illinois, but Mount Vernon, Missouri. Cardinal fan for more than 40 years.
Here's a 2-1. Ayala deals and Rolen hits it to center field. Back at the wall. Cardinals lead it 2-1 as Rolen gets number 26.
So that's his first Busch Stadium home run since May 27th. He had hit 13 consecutive home runs on the road, and that's a big one. Could it be a game winner? It sure could be, as he's challenged, and he answers with dead center field. Cardinals got a legitimate chance. They've got 2 30 home run guys. Now they got a chance for Rolen, a couple more, and he's a 3rd member of that 30 home run club this year.
Wasn't all that far away from the spot where Pujols won it last night. Pujols a little left to that, but still more center than left. And this one was dead straight away.
26 home runs, 97 RBIs.
Nobody is more winded after hitting a home run than Scott Rolen because of the sprint. Edmonds takes the ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. He may have just given Chris Carpenter the chance he needed for his 12th win. Carpenter's nice finish. 11-4 is Chris Carpenter. The rest of this pitching-wise will be up to Isringhausen.
That broke that streak of nearly 27 innings of scoreless pitching from Ayala.
Here's a 1-2 to Jim. 2-2. Today's SBC Yahoo DSL connection of the day brought to you by Yahoo DSL. Jim Edmonds home run to tie it. First pitch of the bottom of the sixth.
Also broke the tie in RBIs between Pujols and Edmonds.
Got him on the inside corner, and Edmonds doesn't agree.
That had some wicked movement.
It did. One out. Take a look at it and see if it came all the way back over the inside corner of the plate.
I don't know if it came all the way back, but boy, did it move back.
Looks like Schneider, the catcher, smiling behind that mask, catching that thing. What a pitch that was. Cedeno now. Off the plate. All kinds of spin on it. Still, Ayala gets it to first in time.
This crowd is into this thing, but I think it was the correct call.
So with 2 out, nobody on, Mabry will hit. Coming up, the Midwest Sports Report. Right after this game, Jim Hayes goes one-on-one with tonight's star of the game. It'll give us a final thought. Also tonight, we'll chat with NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue, plus Bernie Miklasz shares his insights. Part of our post-game coverage. That's tonight, right after the game on the Midwest Sports Report. 2 out, nobody on. Mabry at the plate. Give you another look at that play at first if we get the chance. Mabry is 0 for 2 with a walk. Ball 1 outside.
Winning makes for happy people.
Broken back, ground ball to short, comes up for Gonzalez. We go into the 9th inning. It's time for Isringhausen to get a save. It's 2-1 Cardinals thanks to a home run from Scott Rolen. Cardinals have 2 runs on 6 hits. They really have 2 runs on 2 hits as we move into the 9th inning, and the 2 hits that counted. Bank of America higher standards. The game tire in the 6th inning off the bat of Jim Edmonds. Up and into the night, into the seats in right. And then Rolen. The Cardinals up at the bottom of the 8th. 417 feet to dead center.
I'm going to show you a new graphic. We really think it brings something to you. We'll see that he pitched. Today's Thursday, that represented in yellow, but go back and see, this is the 3rd time, or it'll be a 4th time he's pitching this week. 14 pitches on Friday, 10 pitches on Sunday, 14 pitches on Tuesday. And we'll see, hopefully, about 3 pitches right here on Thursday.
Ike, who works with Chad Blair in the Cardinals video room, came up with this idea, and it's a very good idea, and I'm sure now that it's been used here, it'll be copied and used everywhere else. In fact, I'm going to suggest it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it tells a nice little story.
Here's Vidro. Big bats for the Montreal Expos. Vidro, then Batista, then Nick Johnson. That's as good as they can throw at you. They are the batters here in the 9th inning. Fireworks going on across the way over the river. That's ball 2, 2-0. They're going through their grand finale right now. The numbers for Isringhausen, 27 out of 32 in the save department.
This is the same batters that he faced on Tuesday night, and I'm sure it'll be a different result. As a closer, worst thing in your mind is to come in with a save opportunity and blow it.
That is up the middle. Womack can't do anything with it. Isringhausen had a shot at it, but the leadoff man is on. It will not be easy. Brent Stover, it's always easy for him. He's standing by with an update. What's coming our way?
All right, guys, here's what's coming up after the game. Jim Hayes with a live player interview. The Rams practice with the Bears, and NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue visits Rams camp. That's it for now. Back out to you guys.
Pinch runner as we play here in the 9th inning. A leadoff hit by Vidro. And it's Jamie Carroll coming off the bench to run for Vidro. Batista's at the plate. It was Tony Batista who hit a 2-run home run to tie the game 2 nights ago. The 9th inning off Isringhausen.
Sure, Izzy felt he should have made that play on Vidro's ball.
Just waved at it and missed it. Batista tonight is 0 for 3, struck out twice. All Carpenter can do is sit and watch after giving 8 terrific innings. Ball 1. Carpenter, 8 innings, 1 run on 4 hits, 1 walk. That guy came around to score. The only run of the night for Montreal. 7 strikeouts. A wild pitch.
You know, if you give up a home run to a guy, you just can't wait to face him again and use that negative at bat and turn it into a positive.
The 1-1. 1-2. Carroll, the runner at first, is getting a little bigger lead with each pitch. Closers, and Isringhausen falls into the category, are not very good at holding runners on at first.
A lot of times, and it really applies to maximum effort guys.
The 1-2 pitch.
That's a hold, you know, put down those sequence of pumps. It's one of those little different looks that you go. It's one of the stop the running game. That one is just to hold, batter call time, or to get to take the life out of the base runner at first.
Runner stays put, and a breaking ball. Not close. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tony will watch third baseman, or third base coach give the signs. The hitter kind of watch there, see if he can pick up something. Then he'll relay the defensive signs to Matheny. Matheny said, okay, there's nothing necessarily on the running game.
3-2 on Batista.
Izzy's more frustrated than anybody right now, and you know, you get into little patterns where you're not as, you know, as sharp. You know, hitters go into slumps, but you rarely ever talk about that to pitchers.
A 3-2 slider. Line drive is caught. That's a double play, folks. 2 up. The runner was going, and there was nothing the Expos and Jamie Carroll could do about that.
Just hoping, just by inches, that ball was off the ground. It was hit so sharply, they probably would have got the double play anyway.
Today's play of the game brought to you by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. Scott Rolen with a game tied. Bottom of the 8th, leading off against Ayala. Straightaway center field. His 26th of the year, and it may hold up as the game winner. Here's Nick Johnson. Strike 1. Honorable mention play of the game is the double play with a runner going and the line drive to Renteria.
Renteria, and his glove was flat on the ground, and it landed in the glove. He sells it to the second base umpire and took his sweet time and thrown over to first base to complete the double play. Boy, does that change the complexion of this inning.
Cardinals need to win to stay 9.5 up on Chicago. They won again today at Colorado. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Johnson. Good breaking ball. Might have dropped low. It did, and Johnson laid off. 1-1. Atlanta came up with a 4-run 6th inning to tie Houston 5-5. A home run by Eli Marrero tied it.
1-1 pitch. The cutter coming in to the left-handed batter.
2-1. On deck is Sledge. Nick Johnson is at 5 home runs this season.
Fastball in.
Good pitch, 2-2. Isringhausen has allowed 3 home runs this season.
No. Get on me about getting on me about negative thoughts.
Just laying out the facts. That's not a lot of home runs.
Fastball in.
2-2 pitch. Got him, and the game is over. Cardinals win it 2-1. 2 home runs and tremendous pitching. Edmonds tied it. Rolen put the Cardinals on top for good. Final score 2-1. Cardinals win the series against Montreal. Midwest Sports Report coming up. Dan and Al, I'm Joe. See you in a minute. Strike field with that carry at the wall. Edmonds
Now in the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report. Right back to Busch Stadium for player interviews. Tony La Russa live. Analysis from Joe and Al. And your phone calls with Bernie Miklasz at 1-888-RING-FOX. Plus,
I'm Ian Carolyn McComb with the Rams. Lovie Smith has brought his Chicago Bears to town for the next 3 days. That, plus NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue is here as well. Those stories coming up tonight.
Now, your Midwest Sports Report, presented by Busch Light.
Hello, everybody. Glad you're with us. For Brent Stover, I'm Pat Paris. This is the Cardinal postgame edition of the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report.
yeah, the Rams get some help on the O-line, and we'll hear from tomorrow's starter Matt Morris. But we start with tonight's game and head right back to the scene. Jimmy Hayes standing by. It's brought to you by Ace Mortgage. Jim, take it away.
Scott Rolen, a solo homer in the 8th, puts the Cardinals on top. You guys take 2 out of 3 from the Expos. That's a tough series, though.
Yeah, that was a real tough series. They came here, they came ready to play, and we're ready to play every night too. But they turned in some good pitching performance all the way through. They got timely hits, and it was a good competition these 3 games.
Hey, how about heading around Jim Edmonds and Pujols? Right now, Edmonds is so hot. Talk about just being around those guys.
Well, I mean, that's Jimmy and Albert, 2 of the best hitters in the game, without a doubt, and. We've been fortunate that we've been doing it all the way through our lineup. So just to single out Jimmy and Albert isn't fair. You got Edgar in the front setting the table, and Womack's been doing a great job. And we get everything. If we don't get it early, we get it late in the lineup. So we've been pretty consistent all the way through the order.
Your first homer at Busch Stadium since May 27th. You're not giving the fans their money's worth here.
It seems longer than that. I don't have an explanation, but I'll take the one that landed there tonight.
Scott, thanks for the time. Joe, and our last meeting between these 2 teams, but I'm pretty sure the Cardinals are glad to see the Expos get out of town. That's a tough series.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Cardinals had their hands full in this series with the Montreal Expos. They came in here ready to play. They came off the mat. Got the win here 2 nights ago. The Cardinals had to come back last night. Tonight, I think you look at the pitching more than the home runs. Chris Carpenter was fantastic.
Well, pitching sets the tone. If starting pitching dictates so much, and Chris Carpenter was special. He had everything going today. He had the good fastball, but the breaking ball was exceptional. The 12-6, he just moved things around. He had buckle in the knees. He could just pretty much do what he wanted out there. And only 1 walk. It came back to haunt him, but his good offense came through.
How about 12-4? 12 wins for Chris Carpenter against only 4 losses. And as the Cardinals went out there in the rubber game of this series, they got all they could handle from Patterson. Good pitching and defense on the other side. But Carpenter, again, was good enough.
Yeah, Chris Carpenter, he spent about 20 months on the disabled list with 2 surgical procedures on his shoulder, and it's obviously paid off. He's a workhorse. He's not gonna have any problem. People who think he's gonna break down because he hadn't pitched in 2 years, it's not gonna happen.
Well, the Cubs have gotten hot. The Cardinals needed a win here tonight to stay 9.5 games up on Chicago. The Cubs have the lead in the wild card. Cardinals have the lead in the NL Central. Maybe they could meet later on in October. Wouldn't that be fun? But for now, we say so long from the park. Let's go back to the studio.
Gentlemen, thanks a lot for that report. And Jimmy Edmonds, another guy, 30 home runs right now, 79 RBIs, hitting .303. After a slow start, suddenly this guy is having not quite an MVP caliber season, but pretty darn close. I mean, he's on pace to hit over 40 long balls and driving 100, 110 runs. He's putting together a fabulous season right now.
Yeah, and with him hitting 30, Albert Pujols has 31, Scott Rolen tonight hitting number 26. If he gets to 30, which looks like he'll easily do, that'll be the first time in Cardinals history they've had 3 guys with 30 or more home runs in the same season. So it's been pretty special. And don't forget Tony La Russa's live comments and your phone calls at 1-888-RING-FOX coming up later on the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report.
Recalled from Memphis a week and a half ago, not for the rotation but the bullpen. He made 2 scoreless appearances before Tuesday night when he came in late and gave up a grand slam. For Herron, pitching as a reliever is a bit of an adjustment.
I know I can have success at this level, and I've had my ups and downs this year, definitely, and I'm not trying to hide any of that, and I'm a very confident person, and I'm confident in my ability and in my stuff, and I just got to get it right, and got to make some pitches when I can, and I've had some success this year, and I've also had some pretty bad outings, and I try to put those behind me. The hard part about it is just kind of getting used to the different kind of soreness you get, and when you start, you know you have those 5 days to just kind of relax, get yourself back in shape. But when you're in the bullpen, you got to prepare yourself to pitch that next day, and a lot of it is just trying to prepare and trying to, being prepared to pitch every day.
And tomorrow it is the Mets against the Redbirds in a great pitching matchup. Tom Glavine goes against Matt Morse. Glavine has just 1 win in his last 9 starts despite a terrific ERA of just 2.88. Morris, of course, is coming off his shortest outing of the season, giving up 8 runs on 7 hits in just 2/3 of an inning last Saturday in San Francisco. Morris has been keeping a low profile ever since.
You know, the whole week leading up to it, I kind of ducked my head around the locker room. But as it gets closer to my start, I came in yesterday, and instead of really sulking about it and thinking about what's going on, I'm just going to look forward and look to go out and dominate. And that's all I can do, try to go out there and make pitches and see what happens.
Tonight's Cardinals milestone brought to you by your independent tire dealers. This date, August 5th, 1999. Mark McGwire hit his 500th career home run, becoming the 16th major leaguer and fastest to reach the milestone. Your independent tire dealers helping your...
Does over 500 mean much?
Yeah, it's nice, but been there before and found myself in 2nd place 1 year, so that's getting old, but just keep going out there and playing until the year's over. We're playing good baseball, and I think we were a little flat last couple of days, but a couple of big hits and a great game by Carpenter today, and we squeaked one out. This team played hard for 3 days, and they hung with us, and they're a good team up there.
Jim, when you're hitting the ball like you are, is it just you're seeing the ball better?
I don't really know. I just going out there and just trying to get some hits, and it's a weird game. It's something that it's kind of a long explanation behind it, and just going out there and playing the game. So, Chris pitched a great game, and Scotty had a big home run, and that was a big key for us. It seems like we've been dragging a little bit last couple of days, and it was a nice win.
You can't give us the cliff notes on the explanation?
No. No.
How big is it when a guy gives you that, 8 strong innings like that, and you guys, get him the victory?
That's nice. It's almost you feel bad when you only score a couple runs and a guy's pitching that well. So it would be nice to give him some breathing room. But they've been keeping us in the game all year long, and they're the reason why we're at where we're at. And you got to really, give a lot of credit to our pitching staff.
But back to the cliff notes here. You on the slow motion of the home run, your eyes just look like they're right on the ball. And George Brett used to say it was like bigger than a beach ball when he was going through these stretches. What's it like for you right now?
I don't know. Amazing, I guess. I don't really know what to say. I just got a little crossed up between last year and the beginning of this year, and just been doing a lot of work actually the last month now. It's gone by pretty quick, and things are working out. So I'm just going to keep playing best I can and keeping it away from Jim Hayes.
You don't want to overanalyze it, or?
No, I don't even want to talk about it. I just, we got to keep playing. We got 2 months left, and keep pushing hard and try to get some momentum to the playoffs.
The Expos gave you guys a good series. They battled you guys.
They play well. They're, I don't know if they're young, but they're a gutty group of guys, and they just go out there and play every day. And they played 9 solid innings every night and gave us gave us good games. And, you know, we're not supposed to go out there and win every game. Well, we're supposed to play good baseball, and hopefully we'll play better than the other team. But I think they played better than we did for 2 out of the 3 games. We got fortunate enough to pull this game off.
Thanks, Jim. Whatever it is, we just don't want our Jim Hayes to, you know, to have the luck wear off or the whatever it is going on with Jim.
Good. I felt like, you know, all my pitches were there, my location was there. You know, I really felt like I had a good game plan going in from watching the first 2 games, and the one thing that was different about tonight that I felt was my changeup was much better than it's been all year, and with all these lefties, I was able to throw a few and get ahead in counts and throw some behind in the count to get some outs, and that was important.
What was your reaction when Scott hit home run?
I was fired up. Same reaction as any night, man. I love being a part of this team. It's so exciting to come to the field every night, you know, feeling and knowing that you have a chance to win, and when somebody does something special like that, you know, I was fired up. I would have been fired up last night. I'm going to be fired up tomorrow night if something like that happens. It's just a great experience to be able to play with some guys like this that we have on our team.
Isn't that at the point now where you're almost kind of expecting, you know, the heroics from somebody?
You know, I don't expect anything. I don't want to, you know, I don't think that you can go in and put that kind of pressure on guys. But the problem is we have so many quality guys in this clubhouse that every night it's somebody, and it seems like, you know, if it's not Scotty, it's Albert. If it's not Albert, it's Jimmy, and if it's not Jimmy, it's, you know, there's been times that Mike's come up with some huge hits, and you know, Tony's come up with some huge hits. Edgar, whoever it is, it seems like it's somebody different every night, and I would hate to face this lineup if they're all going good at the same time, I can tell you that.
Chris, getting win number 12 tonight, that had to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it was great. Again, I've said all along, all year, I don't care what happens with me. As long as I go out and do my job and give my team a chance to win and we win ball games, I'm looking forward to being a part of a winning team, and so far we've done that.
Not only with the team getting a win and you getting a win, but Tony mentioned that he needed a big start to try and eat some innings to get the bullpen rest. It's got to be gratifying. So only Izzy has to come in and close it.
Yeah, I mean, I knew what's gone on in the last few days, and knowing that you know, coming in and my job, I knew I was going to have to go out and throw some pitches and try to get through some innings to give our bullpen a little bit of rest. And you know, again, I don't put any extra pressure on me because of it, but you know, I was going to go out and do my job and stay focused and try to get some quick outs to keep my pitch count down.
You know, the other night I put myself in the position by, you know, I did, well, the air or whatever, but it was kind of the same scenario. And then tonight, you know, I missed a ground ball that was pretty simple. I mean, I shut my glove too soon, I guess. I don't know how I missed it. But then, you know, went on deep count on Bautista and got him to line out to Edgar. So, I mean, you know, sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't. Tonight, right at him or whatever, and double play and then strike out. So, you know, it's life. I mean, that's what I do. Some days you do it, some days you don't. Just try to do it more than not.
Nice to get Carpenter a win.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he pitched great. I thought they might send him back out there, especially, I mean, they called down even before we got the run and said you're in no matter what. So, I mean, I think he had 100 and maybe 7, 8 pitches, so I thought that was enough. I mean, I know he wanted to go back out, but still got a long way ahead of us, so.
You guys had to scrap this series. They played you tight.
Well, they pitched us well, you know, so, you know, give them credit, but, you know, we fought back. You know, Albert's with the home run, the extra innings, and then tonight, you know, we scraped a couple runs across and get a good pitch performance out of Carp, so that's what won us ball games all year. You know, we just didn't score that many runs in this series.
How about the role that Edmonds is on? Pretty unbelievable.
Well, I mean, everybody knows that when he gets hot, he can carry a team, so hopefully he stays hot for the next couple months and we'll be just fine.
I don't want to read too much into it. You can slap me if you want. I'm sure you wouldn't mind. But the thing with getting in at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning from San Francisco, and then really not getting an off day, did the team, you guys a little worn down from that weird stuff?
I don't think it's the next day. It doesn't take effect. I think it's a couple days after that takes effect, and that was the kind of this series. I mean, we seemed a little sluggish, yes, but I mean, we scrapped together a couple wins, played good baseball. You know, we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot, make a bunch of errors, but in the same sense, you know, we played good baseball. We just didn't, you know, hit the way we